To the third question, which is, in business, leading your team can be very difficult. I feel it from where I sit. I know many people will feel it from where they sit. What did you do to hire the right people in place for Mona Faces as a CEO? What processes did you go through? Because it's not easy to find people. You seem to be very happy, you're relaxed. We're not seeing you saying, okay, I need to run back to the studio right now. There's this customer calling me. But you are here and we're doing the interview. So what processes did you go through? What did you do? The insights that you can share with us as a CEO. For any other CEO out there, a lady who's trying to start a business who doesn't know how to get the right people in the business.
Well, I would say patience. This is something that I used to struggle with a lot. I am so grateful to God right now that I actually have a team that I love, that is reliable, that I can rely on, and also that my clients love. It wasn't always like that, of course, and partly because I was also not there yet. You know, I needed to read more, I needed to learn more about motivating your employees and how to and I think I'm still learning. I'm constantly reading a lot of business books, trying to find knowledge and learn how to, just learn how to do better. But also, what I would say helps me is, just being patient with my employees, being patient with them and teaching them. And also, I think I'm a very intuitive person. So sometimes your instincts just tell you this is a good person, this is not, And also I'm a hard worker and I love people who are very hardworking. So that usually draws me to the people that I end up working with eventually. If someone is not hardworking, they're not hardworking, they'll never do the job. Even if you motivate them 110%. If they're not passionate about it, they won't do it. So I've been blessed to find people that are passionate and that are hardworking and that are excited to grow with me.
Wow.
I don't even know if I'm answering the question right.
Well, you've actually answered the question well, because most times young people, the one thing I've picked from Mona right now and this morning and on this day and on this interview is that be patient with people. But Mona, how do you be patient with a person who is not seeing the direction of where you're going? Do you communicate your vision to your people first when you bring them in? Are they just excited to work with you? What motivates them that make you feel like, oh, is it the vision, they see where you're going? And he says, I want to be part of this.
I think it's sharing, just being transparent and letting them know that, this is not all glam and exciting and what, it's actually hard work. You're going to work really hard, but then where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself going? What do you want to be like in 5 years? And you'd rather build something with me than just, stay figuring it out and before you know it, it's 5 years and you've not really built something. So just showing them that we are going somewhere, we are building something together. I think that is encouraging for most people.
Okay. Mona, before we take our second break, I just want to ask you this question, still on question number 3. How do you continue to keep these people motivated? How did you, is it because you sold the video well to them or you're paying them well? How do you keep them motivated?
I think, it's a struggle. Every day you learn. And every day you learn and people's wants and needs change every other day. And what excited them last year may not be as exciting for them this year. But constant communication. And reminding them what the vision is and also them seeing it, because I feel like people sometimes get demotivated working with someone working with a company that they feel like is not going anywhere, is not growing. So once you put in the work and you show this is where I want us to go and this is where we're going, and every day you're doing something new, you're creating something new, you're going somewhere, they see that you're going somewhere, they want to go there with you. I think that's what helps me. And also just being a nice person, listening to them. Because they also it's our business.
So you basically spend a lot more time as a CEO listening to them than you talking to them.
You listen to them and they usually have a lot of things to tell you, a lot of insights, like, Mona, change this, do this. Sometimes they're the boss of me.
Well, that's a big lesson right there. Sometimes they're the boss of me. And this is coming from a CEO who is not just talking because she's talking. No, she's earned the right to be on the CEO bench. and she's here because she has a story to tell. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we will toss to Mona on the first success of the business on the CEO bench, and Mona will be telling us how to do the makeup. And if you want to learn how to do the makeup, please call your neighbor, call your cousin, tell them Mona is on TV. Meanwhile, I'm being dissed here that the skin doesn't look the same. So when I come back from the break, we want to see if Mona is going to turn my ugly faces into some beautiful faces, right? The CEO bench will be right back after the break.
So I feel like the foundation is well blended on my skin. I'm now going to go in with my highlight, and for that I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm using the shade Toffee. Applying that underneath my eyes. Center part of the forehead. Bridge of my nose. You guys know the drill. I'm sure you've seen this a million times. So I'm now just going to dab that in with my beauty blender. Blend, blend, blend. So guys, I wanted to remind you that all the products that I'm using, again, are all available at my studio, so you can come and get them, and the ones that are not available at my studio are available in town. Like for example, you can get the Revlon. I don't carry the Revlon foundation that I've just used, but you can get it at Linton's Beauty World. I think Village Mall, they have it. I like that it has really like full coverage, so if you're the kind of person who wants to have like a full coverage foundation, you can go and get it at Linton's. And it's not an ad, by the way. I just like the foundation and I know where it is, and I like to give you tips on where you can get the products in town. So the ones I have, I like to tell you I have them. The ones I don't have, I can always tell you where they are, and you can always go and get. So I'm now going to set my face, my highlight, using my Black Opal Invisible Oil Blocking Powder. I use this all the time, you guys know. It literally is my go-to powder. And packing that and pressing it under my eyes, just making sure that I set this place very well. Guys, you want to take your time setting under your eyes. Like, have you seen when you wear makeup and like you have creases underneath your eyes, like it looks like it's cracking after some time? That's because you didn't take enough time setting that powder in. You need to take your time, set that powder in. Make sure it goes into all those creases and small lines underneath your eyes. Creases and small lines, they're the same thing. Anyways, don't forget your laugh lines. And also you want to snatch the nose. So you put extra powder there. There, there. Once that's done, I'm going to go in with my contour, and for that I'm going to be using still again my Black Opal translucent powder. I'm using the shade Deep. This is also another powder that I literally use in every video, literally. You see how I've immediately like snatched my forehead, reduced that 5 head into one? That's the power of contour, guys. Contour. You reduce the forehead, you reduce the nose, you reduce everything, cheekbones. The face is now looking snatched, chiseled. So I feel like I need like a deeper contour. I need to snatch my face a little more. So I'm going to go in with a Fenty Beauty bronzer. I'm using the shade Mocha Mami. I got this Fenty Beauty bronzer from a dear friend of mine, and I've used it, guys. I've used it a lot on not just me but also my clients. I've already hit pan with it. Guys, just first look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Love this Fenty bronzer, guys. But guys, do you see the warmth that creates on my face? I love it, and I also love it for my like dark skin melanin clients. I also want to know what makeup products you guys are into. You guys would love for me to get, most especially if you're in town and you find it hard to get your favorite makeup products because I know it can be a hassle. Just let me know what products you want to get, what products you think I should get and try out for you, and maybe give you some reviews or even stock them at the studio. Just let me know. So I'm also trying to snatch my nose a little more, get that nose contour on. I do this at the same time with my eyes. Like I go into my crease and then just like blend all the way down the sides, like the sides of my nose. So I'm quickly going to do my eyebrows off camera because I've done them on camera a million times. I don't want to bore you guys with that. I finished snatching my face. My eyebrows are done. I'm going to go into my eyes, and for eyes I'm going to be using my ColourPop Cosmetics Bare Necessities. Ignore how my palette is looking, but I've been filling the shades in here. It's all neutrals and nudes. Obviously I'm going to go into my comfort zone, which is very neutral, very like natural looking eyeshadow. I'm going to go in first with this nude shade. It has a bit of shimmer in it, and I'm going to use that like slightly above my crease because I've already used my bronzer into my crease. I use that as a transition shade, so I kind of want this nude to go right above that, like literally on my eyebrow bone. I'm going to go in with an orange shade over here, and I'm going to take that into the crease as well, just to give me a bit of color. I'm going to create a look that I have been doing lately a lot, but I haven't been able to, I haven't done it on camera before.
Welcome back to the CEO Bench. My name is Eddie Okila, and in the studio is Mona. Mona Lisa is the right name, and the other name is very difficult.
Omutoni.
Omutoni.
Yeah.
Yes, she's the founder of Mona Faces, and of course, are you enjoying yourself on the show, first of all?
I am. It's fun. I have some coffee with me, so
yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's toast to the success. If you want to get this cup, you need to just send Mona a question, and we will be able to give you a gift on the CEO Bench.
Do I get to keep mine?
Absolutely. And she's going to take a cup. Now, Mona, welcome back to the show. We're really enjoying the discussion about the business. I just want to read for you some of the comments coming here from people who are watching the show. The first one is coming from a photographer. And Onyaito Deke is a digital marketer and is a photographer, documentary photographer, which means he works a lot with makeup artists like you. You're really in sync with them. And he's saying, learning that I need to guide my daughters, not dictate what they should do.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. What do you have to say about that?
Definitely.
As a father?
As a father, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just teach them what you know, and then just let them
be what they want to be in life, and just guide them.
Yeah.
Onyaito Deke is saying, what are the challenges you face as a woman in business? Are there things we need to do to level the playing field and create equal opportunity for girls, if there are any?
Things you need to do. You know what? I don't even know. But maybe it could start with paying them more and giving them more opportunities. I feel like women in general are paid less. Like even if someone, like there are times when people try to bring gigs to me, like let's say influencing gigs, and there's a guy on that same, job, and they will automatically give them more. Maybe because men know how to bargain for themselves a little more than women do.
So you think that we should teach ladies
how to
bargain more?
How to bargain more, yeah. How to be more confident in themselves and what they are offering.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest problem. Like women will easily settle for a less pay than men would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mona, Onyaito Deke goes on to say, I think this is a comment, says, I didn't know that beauty products are taxed at 60%. Whoa.
They are. I pray that changes soon, but they are.
Okay. So with that challenge of 60%, how do you continue to make money to grow the business? Because the tax seems to be unrealistic for the business.
It is. It's very unrealistic, but you have to do what you have to do. I mean, if I don't do makeup, then what am I going to do? So Yeah.
All right. I have another question. Is Edio Killer? I'm watching the show all the way from the US. I stayed up to see that young lady actually back on TV. I was shocked when she started. She dived into a field which was not quite understood, and how she turned around the makeup industry. I look at her studio. She really inspired me a lot. I live and work in the US, and one of the things I want to do someday is to start the business like Mona.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
And it's midday in Uganda, so it's quite late in the US.
Yeah, it is.
And that right there, and I see one coming from Kenny Luchams, who said, I just love the passion of Mona. The magical being. He says that's who you are.
Thank you, Kenny.
Mona, we're gonna have to go to our next question here, which is question number 4. On the CEO bench, we often have 7 questions as we talk about the life of a CEO. And I want to take you to question number 4. You are not always big as a businesswoman as you are now from the time you started. While growing business in Uganda is very hard for many women, and not just women, even men. I can share a few experiences that I've been through. Managing success can even be harder. When people become more successful in businesses and they start to do serious stuff, success begin to get into them. Some fail, some succeed. How have you managed the success of Mona Faces and still remain down to earth and still be a person who speaks to border as a CEO? You know, I find you're around Kisementi where your business is, hello everybody, happy faces with everyone, living your brand even on the street, but yet you're very successful. How have you managed to do that? Some of us, when we get there, I'm now a CEO, don't talk to me, just talk to my assistant.
You know, I don't even know, like, when people say, now you're successful, for me, I'm like, every day is a struggle. Well, not as a big of a struggle as it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not where I used to be, and I'm grateful to God for that. But I'm also not where I want to be. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. And I feel like business is one of the most humbling things. Like, you can never be a proud person in business. Yeah. Like, business is people. How you treat people, how you treat your employees, how you treat your clients, how you treat people around. Like, the people are the ones who bring you the money. So you cannot afford to be proud or arrogant or standoffish. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but like, yeah. So I think for me that keeps me grounded, because at the end of the day you need people, you need to build relationships with people. Yes. In order to stay in business for a long time, because like every relationship you build with someone counts. Like, I feel like I've known you for a long time, and we've never really had a conversation. Like, it was always, maybe I see at Endero, hi, like that, and then here I am, you know? So at the end of the day, you never know who's going to do something for you, who's going to connect you to someone that you need, who's going to bring you business even the very next day. So how you treat people in general in business really matters. I feel like that is what keeps me grounded. And also knowing that there's more to accomplish. I genuinely don't feel like I've even done half of what I'm supposed to do. Yes. Like, there's so much work to be done. And yeah, maybe I'll know when I'm at that level.
Well, I think just your humility does speaks volume for you. The fact that you have the heart of humility, and yet you say, I'm tough when I need to make the decision. I'm also not as simple when I know where I want to go and you want to sway me. Those are really very good qualities. We're talking to Mona on the CEO bench. When I first met you many years ago, we were actually giving Blush Media their first ever interview on XXL. That happened to be one of the shows that I produced that propelled them to be really serious. When we did an interview with them, there was this little girl, petite, you were then trying to do interviews and trying to do makeups and essays, and very passionate about it. That's the first time I interacted with you, and I asked myself, and then Hilary said, oh, this is our friend. This is our friend Mona, she's very passionate about this. And then Arlington says, we always call her here to just come and do our photography and makeup and stuff like that. But I saw something in you that was more to do with success, that this person is determined to succeed. And that brings me to the 5th question. The heart of business is sales. You obviously struck me then with the way you were trying to sell makeup to me when you didn't have a studio yet. When you had your business running, it wasn't that big. You struck me as a person who can sell anything. Okay?
Yeah.
And the heart of business all across the world is sales. Sales will bring the numbers. Okay? No sales, no business, as we always call it. And you've just been talking about the customer care service. How have you managed to market Monia Faces, build a brand from ground up, and kept the business flowing to your studio in Kisementi, Kampala? How have you managed to do that?
I think for me, what I would say, sometimes I'm like, okay, where do I start from? What do I say? How do I respond to that?
Yes.
How I've managed to sell?
Yes.
Well, I think selling is more, again, relating to people, finding out their problems and fixing them, you know? Like, I am in the business of making women feel and look beautiful, so that's what I do. So every woman that comes into my studio has to feel beautiful from inside and look beautiful on the outside. And then that's what brings them back the next day and the next day, and we create relationships. So they'll forever and always support me. I've had clients whose makeup I've done since 2015.
Yeah.
When I was just in a small chair. Yeah,
I
in
remember
a
that
boutique.
office very well.
Then
Yes,
we
yes.
moved to a small studio, then we moved to a bigger studio, then now where we're at, and those same people still come to me, even with my prices changing and going up, not so up, but I think at the end of the day, still selling to people is relating with people, is finding out what they need and how they want to feel, how is your business making other people feel, and yeah.
Wow. I think the takeaway from here, Mona, is selling to people is how you relate with them.
Yeah.
How you make them feel.
Yeah.
I've never done a makeup from you, but I've always been connected. I've always loved to see how first of all, I love your story, growing from where you are and creating a brand. I'm a marketer, and one of the things I do every single day is think for brands and think for businesses. I have seen businesses grow from scratch, and I love the stories of businesses growing from nothing that has no definition to something that's a definition to a brand that now has built equity, that we can say, okay, this business, the name alone is worth this much, okay? The equipment worth is this much, and this is this much. And so I've seen you through the years going through that. Question number 6 would be, you are a huge inspiration to a lot of women all over Uganda at the moment, and as well as the world. When I look at your Instagram pages, it speaks volume.
Yeah.
You post a video like this, in less than a month you are at 1 point something K, you are hitting 4,000 something and 5,000 something on one video.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, but this is a girl who started from Kampala, out of Uganda, and now you're beginning to create influence. From your answer about the lockdown, you talk about the master classes you were doing online during the lockdown.
Yeah.
What advice or tips would you give to young women out there trying to forge a career or a business for themselves, having gone through these stages?
I think the best way to start any business is just, number one, being passionate about what you're trying to do. Like, you have the passion for it. I think passion can drive you and help you do things that you didn't even think that you would do. Like, it's not easy, like building any business. It's not easy staying consistent 1 year after the other, 6 years later, and you're still doing the same exact thing and you're still excited about it when you wake up in the morning going to work. So I think the advice I would give to anyone trying to get into business is, first, really have a conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, am I as passionate about this? Will I wake up at 4 a.m. and sleep at midnight? And then do the same thing the next day, have only 2 hours of sleep and repeat and repeat and repeat and stay consistent with it after so many years. I think that's the difference, because most people I feel like most small business owners like myself look at business as, I can just wake up, start this and make money. Like, it's always making money. So then what if you don't make money?
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
what if...
Wow, that's a hard question. Wow.
Yeah, will you stay with it? What if you get a lot of backlash, or there are so many social media trolls, bullies. What if they like try to put you down one day? Like, how are you going to come out of that? So I just think business is just passion. Yeah, this is something that I'm passionate about. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about. That's all I know. I've not tried to do something that I'm not passionate about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mona, I like your drive and I like what you've just said. We are hastening towards the evening of our interview today. You've successfully answered the 6 questions. There's always the mystic question number 7. But before I ask that question, you talked about passion for your business and doing everything with a lot of passion. Sometimes passion can be misconstrued. Sometimes we can fall in love with what we're trying to do stronger, that love can drive us crazy, can mess us up, can mess the business up. How do you help some of us who become too passionate about what we're doing and forget about that we're doing business? I love this too much. I don't know how to draw the line between passion and business and make the passion business like yours. Yeah.
No, you learn. You learn. I think I definitely started out as a passionate person. I was ready to do makeup for free. But at the end of the day, you need to pay the bills.
Yes.
You need to grow in your own personal life as a person. So you need the money. So you learn, you read and you learn. I've read a lot of books that have actually helped me so much as a business person to grow. A book I would recommend is The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Igaba. I don't know if you've read about it.
Not yet.
You've read it?
But I've read about the book.
Very, very, very
I've done
helpful.
the review of the book. I haven't read it.
Yeah, most especially for people who are artists, who are like the people who do the job. Like you're like a technician. You're the one who does the makeup or who does the hair. It's hard to look at yourself out of that image of, okay, I'm not just the technician, but I also have to manage the business. I have to be an entrepreneur. I have to see where it's going. So yeah, I think reading a lot, trying to there's knowledge out there for us everywhere on social media, on Instagram. You scroll through Instagram, you're learning something. YouTube, you're learning. There are books everywhere. So we have no excuses in general.
Well, guys, you're hearing it from Mona right there, coming from Mona, the CEO and founder of Mona Faces. Mona, of course, you are a big inspiration. I must admit that to as many as possible. And we're just about to open up the line to some comments, which you have to respond to is some of the things that we do here. You're so far speaking to about 1.8 million people in diaspora. These are Ugandans in diaspora who follow House of Talent Television. About 15,000 people online who follow us all across. These are people who you are interacting with right now. And if you look at this screen, we're talking about leadership, change management, transformation. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, question number 7, the mystery question, if you had to rate yourself as a leader, what would you give yourself?
You know, to be honest, should I give you like the real honest answer?
Yes.
Okay, on a good day, maybe 5. On a bad day, maybe 3. Yeah.
Why are you giving yourself such a low? Yes.
Because I don't know, maybe I'm my biggest critic. Like I feel like I don't like, I'm still learning.
Don't you feel like you're so hard on yourself?
No, I'm learning.
Okay.
Yeah, every day I'm learning. Like there's so much to learn and there's so much that I don't know, and yeah.
So on the scale of 1 to 12, you give yourself on a good day 5, on a bad day you give yourself 3.
Yeah.
And that has a question online here, which we are definitely going to bring out at some point. Mona, let's go to...
But it's a work in progress. Maybe next time I'll be 8. So
yes. All right. Okay. We're talking about change management, leadership, and transformation. Let's look at the change management. Change management, I'll explain it to you. Change management requires that, 1, we think about where we're going. 2, why do we need a change? 3, why the change? 3, what processes do we need to go through to change? You have changed offices 3 times. I have seen you. You are now in a different place, and of course a much beautiful place, easier access to your clients and stuff like that. That change meant that you had to communicate to your staff, and that communication needs to really be very clear, because some people fear change. And you've lost staff in the process of change. COVID-19 came and you had to change direction a little bit, but maintain the course of where you're going. On a scale of 1 to 10 on change management, what would you rate yourself?
You know, I really actually, I love change. I hate and I love change at the same time.
Yes.
Like, I'm always ready to change. I'm always like quick to like, no, okay, this is not working. This is how we need to do. I think I would rate myself 9, 8. Yeah, that one is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, change management is rated at 9, 8, and it requires that you communicate that vision and the reason for the change to your people. Have you always done this? And on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
what's the clarity like?
I always communicate everything to the people that matter, that need to know.
Yeah.
Still, 9, 10.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm moving forward. So you're either moving with me or you're not. So
Or you follow.
yeah.
Yes.
So if change has to happen, it has to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change management on the fees that you charge. The fees that you charge for your services. You said that you started 1 or 2 and you change. Normally customers don't want change on the prices. No. Now you're becoming too proud. Now you're changing. How were you able to manage the process of change of the prices? The cost of doing makeup at Mona Faces to now the premium prices that we had. And you said you are still going. And how do you intend to manage that going forward with the changing times?
You know, every business changes their prices. Like some change every year, like just keeps going up and up. If you feel like I think it's all about knowing your worth, knowing what you're giving, you know, value for money. If you feel like you're giving the clients that much, then they have to pay. Yeah. So
What happened when they're not paying?
no, they pay.
Okay.
I've been blessed, so they've been paying.
What would you attribute that change of them continue to paying, and when you communicate to them and they pay and they keep going, what would you
Yeah.
attribute that success, that bit of success to?
I think also just being fair and knowing that, you know, I'm not just increasing the prices and doing nothing for you. Like, I'm changing the experience at the studio. You're going to come in, we'll give you a glass of bubbly, the environment is nice, we'll do a great job, we'll make you feel and look beautiful. Like, why would you not want to pay? Yeah.
Well, Mona, that's a nice one. And lastly, on the screen, it's our transformation. Where do we see Mona Faces 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now? Let's start with 5 years from now.
5 years.
Where do we see Mona Faces?
There's a lot of things I want to do. When people ask me these questions, I on interviews, I never like to answer, because these are things like, it's like almost like my dreams. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to share. Definitely, it's going to be more. I definitely know that in 5 years. Right now, I have a team of 5. I'll probably have a team of like 50. Yeah. I intend to employ as many young girls as possible.
And in
Girls
10
and
years?
women in 10 years, maybe like 100,000 all over Africa. Yeah.
Wow.
I intend to roll it out as a franchise. So we're still growing and learning.
Okay. And 50 years from now, what would
I
you
don't
like to
know.
be remembered for?
You thought I was so quick to be like, I don't know. Like,
50 years from now,
What
you
would
said
I
you have a
want
very
to
strong
be?
vision, and from what you're saying, so 50 years from now, where do we see Mona Faces? And what would you like to be remembered for?
That's a hard one.
Ding dong! It's on leadership, change management, transformation. You've already transformed yourself. Leadership means inspiration. That you
I
inspire
think
people,
I
yes.
want to be remembered from with, how do I want to be remembered? How I, you know, at the end of the day, people remember how you make them feel.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to really empower as many women as possible. Like, for me, like, I feel like I said, women are going to be on top very soon, and we're going to be presidents. We're going to be making all the laws and everything.
Yes.
So that is what I'm passionate about. Women.
Why would you
Yeah.
leave men out of the picture?
I am just passionate about women. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Would
I don't
you
even know
ever
how
pick
to
us?
explain.
Would you ever pick us
Yeah.
at some point? Do you
No,
hate us? Do you
I
like
don't.
us,
I
or
don't.
we
I don't hate
Yes. Yes.
I don't hate men, but
Yes.
I'm just really passionate about women
Yeah.
and their growth and their success and their suffering. And yeah, women are taken for granted so many times. I feel like Ugandan women are one of the most oppressed in the world. So I just want to change that.
Yes.
I just want to be remembered for what I did for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mona, we just going to bring this to a close very quickly, and I just want to take you straight to my last question, which is here. I want to read some questions from here. Some people have asked questions here, and I want to take you straight to this one here. This is coming from Rebecca Ray Naki. It says, Mona is very down to earth and a blessed woman. And God bless
Thank
the works of her hands. Thank you very much. That's coming
Thanks,
from
Rebecca.
Rebecca. You're almost breaking her down, Bambi. And Rebecca Ray is saying, I wish one day she gets to my face. She gets to do my
I'll
faces.
definitely do your
my
face.
face, and when I can afford.
Yeah. No,
Mona.
she'll be able to afford.
Rebecca Ray Naki, she says when she can afford, we want to offer her to come to Mona Faces. What does it cost? We want to pay. The CEO bench would want to pay for her to come. She's definitely a woman. She's saying
You're
here
welcome.
that I wish one day she gets to do my face and when I can afford.
Well, I'll definitely give the CEO bench a gift voucher for Rebecca.
Wow!
Ray.
Someone shouting for Rebecca Ray Nachi, please.
So,
go to Mona Faces
come
and
through.
you have a voucher right there, and we want to know her
No,
experience.
they'll come to you guys
Yes, yes.
and then you give them the voucher.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we want to know what the experience is like. We're actually going to try and, do an interview with her when she's done the makeup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, you have it right there, Rebecca. So please write to us an email to houseoftalenttv@gmail.com, houseoftalenttv@gmail.com, and contact us, or get into the inbox and write to us, and we'll definitely give you a voucher. You have a voucher, and we would like to see how you experience that. You see, that's a nice thing
Yeah.
to give to another woman who actually has inspiration or aspiration to be where you are, but can't afford it at the moment, and she's really working hard to do so. Mona, Katamba Kenneth says, how do you deal with inner backlash when you feel demotivated in what you're doing, yet you see it kind of working out? Wow, that's a nice question.
Inner backlash, yeah, it's very as a creative also, like I tend sometimes to overly criticize myself sometimes, or feel like I'm not doing enough, I should be doing more, and sometimes you just get a creative block. Sometimes you're doing everything, so you just get, what is it called, burnout sometimes. Yeah, so I think in those times I call it, okay, there's this other YouTuber I was listening to, and she was still talking about how to get motivated again and find inspiration. And she talks about something, it's called breathing. Okay, she said it's like breathing in and breathing out.
Yeah.
So she's like, as a creative, when you're putting out content and you're doing this and you're producing something and you're working, you're feeling super hyped and super motivated, that's when you're actually breathing out. You're putting things out there.
Yeah.
And then you reach a point where you just can't, you don't have the gas anymore, you're not motivated, you feel like what you're doing is not working, and she says that's your time to breathe in. So I took that advice, and I always, moments when I feel like I'm not being as creative as I should be or as productive as I should, I take that as the universe trying to tell me and show me that now, Mona, it's time to breathe in. So I use that time to take in as much knowledge, inspiration. I'll travel, I'll read, I'll watch a lot of content on YouTube. I get a lot of inspiration from other creatives and just watching other people on YouTube. So I spend a lot of time on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I think you can get out of that funk. You see an idea and it will spark something in you, and then before you know it, you're back on your track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mona, Sam Fine. Do you know Sam Fine?
I do, definitely.
Sam Fine
It's
is
like the
one
OG of makeup.
the highest paid makeup artist in the world.
Yeah.
And I've always followed to just see how much that guy makes. He makes $3,500. He's the highly paid makeup artist in the world. And that is before he travels, and that is before overtime. and all of these things and allowances that come with. Some, of course, beautified such famous faces like Naomi Campbell. I think that's the biggest account for him, and Tyra Banks. That's the big account, and of course Iman. Where do we see Mona faces? Who do you want to be the biggest?
My biggest celebrity?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! If I wake up one day and do Beyonce's makeup.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in Africa here, who would be your biggest?
Africa. I think my biggest would be. Oh my God! Why is this taking me so long to figure out? In Africa, I think I would love to do. I'm still thinking. I've done all of what I would want to do in Uganda.
Yeah.
So definitely it has to be out of Uganda.
Yes, so that's why I said it's Africa. South Africa, the whole of African continent. You talked about Beyonce in America. So which other person would you like to do the makeup here? Because some is at $3,500 a day. That's some serious money.
That's a lot.
15 million shillings. For those who are watching, that's 15 million shillings, one makeup.
Yeah.
All right, and you just ended there. So who would be your biggest makeup artist?
Biggest makeup person to do.
Customer, yes, or client to do.
You know what? I feel like I've done the ones I want to do. Like there's so many amazing Ugandan women that I've worked with that are like top.
Yes.
So that means I would have to look at maybe somewhere out of Africa.
Okay. Would you like to share that? And do you have that in your
You know what?
list?
I've not yet figured it out.
Okay.
I'm going to look. I had never thought of it. I don't know why. I've never.
Okay.
Now I'm going to think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've basically come to the end of our interview, and I just want to ask you something. 1 minute of you to take us through. If you're your team, can you just put that video up? We want really Mona to explain to us what typically a makeup artist do. And I think you have a video when you're telling us, explaining to us what you do. Put a third video up.
That's
Yes.
long. Won't it be too long?
No, that's okay. We cut it down. You're just going to take us through what it means. So, how do you typically, that makeup that you're talking about there, the process that we go through and all that stuff? Can you just take us through what the process is?
The process of doing makeup?
Yes. Typically, I don't know how to do the makeup. I don't even know where to start.
So we start with a base. Like for example, if I was to do your makeup, I'll start by priming your skin just to make sure that it does not, to protect your face. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing something different there. I'm applying concealer. That's like the third stage.
Yes.
Then we'll do a foundation to even out the skin tone. Then we do the concealer just to highlight and give more coverage. That's what I'm doing right there.
Yeah.
Cover the dark circles, make sure like the face is like bright. And then after that we'll set with a powder, and then we'll do eyeshadow. And then guys, you'll find out the rest of the information on my YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to my YouTube at Mona Faces. Follow me on Instagram. I have a lot of tutorials over there. Support, subscribe, comment. Yeah.
Well, you've heard it from Mona right there. Mona,
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming to the show today. We're really happy to have you here. And somebody has said, can you please bring that lady back to the show? She was really cool. I feel like we've not had enough of her. Well, we will be able to bring you back at some point. And I got a lot of private messages here. Edio Killer, thank you very much for bringing the lady. I think I'm really inspired. This is what I was looking for my day. I needed something fresh to take me forward. I'm still scared. Just keep my name withheld. But tell Mona I really wish I could give her a hug right now.
Oh.
Well, so you have somebody right there who is feeling like you have touched them. I think it's nice to be able to touch people's lives in a manner in which you may not be able to express. But thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What would be your one-word experience? I mean, one-word inspirational message to somebody, if you look into that camera?
One word.
Yes.
I think I already said 2 words.
Okay, please say even 3 words.
2 words. Okay, I think they're going to be a little more. Anyways.
Even 4 words.
It's
even
one
5
sentence.
words. Even
It's
5
one
words.
sentence.
Go ahead.
Just start. Start where you are, and then don't stop. Once you start, you don't stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mona, for coming. We
Thank you for
got
having
it
me.
off, and thank you very much. Go out to our YouTube channel and check her out. But more particularly, go to Endiro Coffee if you're in Uganda, if you're in Kampala, if you are in Uganda, or if you visit Uganda, the part of Africa, show up at Kisementi, and you'll find her near Bistro. And of course, that's where Mona faces are. And please give her the business. We want to see a Ugandan brand go out there and touch lives. And she says she wants to do her first makeup to be Beyonce, and I think she's going to really get into that and start getting paid like champagne.
Yeah, we'll get there. And I feel like everyone I work on already is a Beyonce. There's so many beautiful, hardworking, very inspirational women that
Yes.
I feel like I've been blessed to meet through my craft. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm constantly being inspired by women. Like I get a lot of my motivation from women. So yeah, so many Beyoncés out there. You know.
Well, it's over from us here. It's been a CEO Bench. My name is Edio Killer, Mona, and of course, Mona Faces was signing out. Until next time on the CEO Bench, we bring you the story of another CEO as a surprise to you. Stay right there. We'll be right back next week. It's a wrap. CEO Bench.
I'm going to pack that on the inner corner because it's just bright and beautiful and I love it. It has a bit of, it's a matte shade with a bit of like sparkle in it. Like it has a few like glitter pieces in it. I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush from my Zoraya brush set. I don't know if I've showed you guys my Zoraya brush set. I'm going to be showing it to you just now. So I'm going in with a nude on the outer, like right from the center part of my lid to the outer corner of the lid. I am using the shade Complicated. I'm not going to line my eyes, but I kind of want to create like a shadow before I line the eyes. And I'm going to go back in with a brown shade that I use, and I'm using a smaller, more precise eyeshadow brush, and I'm just packing the brown onto my lid. Guys, this is like a very quick makeup tutorial, nothing extra, nothing fancy, very easy to do, and you could wear this look anywhere, like anywhere. Like, where do you want to go? To the market? This is the look for you. For a wedding, friend's birthday party, photo shoot. Okay, this is a bit too simple for a shoot. Love it. So for liner,
Mado ya Musa, twesala bukumba sibya Medusa. Tolina kalimu follow liluza. Reconnaissance, Beba producer. Got chains on my neck and I'm looking like Kunta. Wanna close, boy I'm a shooter. I'm the boss with a dream like Luther. Namuongo boy, that's the hood I'm coming from, and I thought you knew that. Thugs and drug dealers, body mukako na. Why do I rap? I rap because I want to talk about stuff that other people don't talk about. I want to inspire people. I want to be the voice to the voiceless. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. No. Wafuka so mean. In fact, Osinga I mean. Chirabikoli half man, half machine. Mundu nzira bakubuli street. Buli chimwe chicho cha gunpoint. My nigga, tell us the point. Power to the people, tebichakola kubanga nobulula baniga babubba, ba good cop, baba kuba masasi, our only hope, ne baba kwata, ba MPs, baba kuba kalimo lufu na kalulu nebebaka. Katite muji kwata ko. This is Leo Rich, rated fresh on XXL. Ruba. Yeah, Leo Rich. Oh yeah. This is Uganda. 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 Hey, wake up.
go look for paper. No money, no power, Mutesa. Talk more and get yourself to your gas, so all we do is look for the pesa. Uganda Zabu, rest in peace Zakayo. I'm from the 256, born with the heart of a lion. Don't talk about Alicia Keys, we got Irene and Desire. Yeah, I think Trump is shit, yeah, should come see ours. And MPP's on the wall, pays 40K and free he goes. After 20 years of school, you still won't get a decent job. A rich man shoots down a poor man, gets locked up, but not for long. This is Uganda, brother, ain't nobody gives a fuck. Uganda, 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 my country. Uganda, 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 my country. Oh dear God up in heaven, bless my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh yeah, this is Uganda. 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 Hey. I fell in love with the Rolex. I ain't talking about watches. You don't need a big bando. Only few coins get a mando. Yeah, Kampala. Chino Sichivuka Chapafala. Smartphone Yakabitu Jituala. Do for the 256. Uganda. Can't touch my flow like a crested crane. Dropped out of school, got a different brain. The eyes tell them that my future's faint. You and your stupid as claim. This is Uganda, part of Africa. Do what you wanna. Go to school, read your books, or else smoke marijuana. I don't care what you do as long as you're in your fanya. This is Uganda, this is Uganda, light up your fire. This is Uganda. 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 Uganda, 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 my country. Uganda, 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 my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh dear God in heaven, please bless my country. Oh yeah.
I've never noticed that I have daughters until recently in February 2019 is when I realized that I actually have girls. Before that, I would see them as children. The idea that they are kids, they're children. A father looks at children as children. But then I became aware of the idea that the world doesn't see them as such. It has a lens through which they relate with them. And that lens is called woman. It's called girl. And so that changed my perspective of how I see my children today. I see them as girls. And I see them as women. Now the question is, what kind of women? That's when I realized, okay, what kind of women do I see? But what kind of women will the world see? What kind of women is the world conditioned to want to see? You know, and that became a very revealing thought, because then I'm like, okay, the world has all these lenses of women as tools for sale of products. Everywhere you go, they're used for music, selling of music. They're used for selling sex. They're used for all types of functions, and I'm calling them functions. So in a man's world, these are the functions through which they relate with a woman who was yesterday a girl child, and then that becomes scary. And so that's now what shapes my thinking. I have an 11-year-old who turns 12, but then she was still 11, and a 7-year-old. So I sat them down because we use critical thinking, so we had to break down things. And the conversation began in that context of how the world has been structured from day one. And it's structured to operate as a man's world. And the role of women is a small corner in that world. And once in a while, men call some of those, out of the many, they give an opportunity to some of them to come to the world of men. If it's boardrooms once in a while, but even when it's boardrooms, they will give them the role of a catering service provider. You know, a person who organizes the teas in the board. You are a board member, as someone else said, a friend of mine, I'm a board member, but I might as well be the kitchen lady while, you know. So once in a while, that's that sort of relationship. Now, my girls have been raised to think that they are going to change the world. That's what they believe. That's what they know, because they see the need for change, and they're able to point out that and say that should change, that should change. So they see themselves as agents of change. Now I'm saying you're seeing yourselves as that, but does the world see you as that? Now, so if you don't live in that reality, that it doesn't see you like that, then you are hiding from the truth, or I'm not helping you realize what is out there. So I want you to know the little role I can play is to get you friends who can think like you among girls, that together you can become a voice that penetrates to actually change the world. And that's how I started to support issues of girl-child empowerment and women empowerment. And I think that's the voice that I'm sort of saying, look, if I don't do this, there's no propagation of transformation as I perceive it. So the best way to do it is to say, hey, we're on the same side, and can we change some of the things that did not work out quite justly right? And so that's the conversation that we're having with my children. I have never noticed the concept of father, mother, per se. My relationship has always been about me aligning myself to a force that I think is more universal and broader than the context of the biological context of who are responsible for putting your biological form together. And therefore that introduced me to spirituality quite early, where I referred and looked at the Creator as the source of both mother and father. And so that allowed me to connect quite early. And ever since then, that's how the relationship is. And so my father, who I later discovered was my father after some time.
This is the biological father now.
That's the body form father. And therefore I am like, oh, okay, so I can account for the idea that this body form carries the body type of that particular person. But as for my mom, I spent most of my first 5-10 years with her. But again, we were not close. We became close more when I started my journey to Nairobi and start a few of the passions I had. And I saw a different side of herself, which was a side of always, with the little she had, she could always, work towards ensuring. Like one time she got on a bus, she got a taxi to pursue a bus, an Akamba bus, because she knew I only had money to take me to Nairobi, but I didn't have pocket money for any emergency. So when she found it, she had to pursue the Akamba bus until Nkoko Njeru, somewhere in Kono, and they had to stop the bus, and my mom came up with an envelope too. That's the first time I realized, oh, my mom cares. But before, she was struggling with the idea that this is a young man who has no father, and therefore the relationship wasn't really lovey-dovey. And so that was my first introduction of her as a mother. It was when I was about 17 years. So as I said before, the biological dimension of myself in relation to the question you asked is limited, that I can't speak of it that much. I never thought of my mom as a person who doesn't care. And neither did I think of her as a person who cares. As I mentioned before, that side of myself was blocked. I had no opinion for both. And it was funny because the other source I was tapping in sort of fulfilled both sides. The female side of nurturing and love, I could feel it through that force. I could also feel that masculine sense of direction and purpose and being driven and intensity, intention and stuff. I could feel that strongly. So I developed both sides, but not through the biological parent. And I could also find elements of a mother in other people that were not directly related to me. One particular person comes to mind, a lady, my mother, Muchala Luwama, we call her Mami Robina, in the orphanage where I later on grew up. And I could see the other dimension of that. And that was even more powerful because it wasn't conditioned on biological relationship. Therefore, it introduced me to the idea that love is a universal sort of force. And so, yeah, that's how I relate with that body of knowledge. My daughter lives in a different dispensation than I did. And therefore, perhaps the tools of my upbringing might not be practical for her. So rather than giving her that, I thought that perhaps I need to give her something that is more user-friendly for the generation coming. Something that she can use, but also quickly pass on, and it becomes timeless. And so I'm not raising my girls to be great workers. No, I'm raising them to be great thinkers. That's all I think in this information age. Yeah, you don't want to get your children to work towards being workers and looking for jobs and doing jobs. No, you want them to be critical thinkers, because wherever life throws them, they don't need anything else. That's all they will need, and they can operate on a global scale because the principles are universal. And so that's how I'm raising them. So to answer your question, no, I can't raise them the way I was raised. It's absolute. It's a gone thing. I benefited from it to the extent that it's created and shaped my thinking. But a lot of my thinking is shaped with the future in mind. And I draw only from history beyond my history. So I read very widely from the Battle of Hastings in 1066 and its impact on the world. I read about the 1681, the laws in America that created. I read about aggregate efficiency in relation to near zero marginal costs in relation to productivity, growth. I read about energy forms. I read about communication forms. So I don't consider my history that great in relation to global history. However, where it becomes great is when I dig deep into my cultural roots. Then I find a certain value that shaped who I am, and I tend to draw more from that cultural identity of myself than I draw from my family identity as an individual. So then I can be able to analyze that cultural context in relation to other cultural contexts globally that were running parallel to my culture in time, and seeing comparisons and being able to say, while this was happening in Europe, what were my kings doing at that time? When Christ was happening, what was Chintu doing? So I call it retrospective history. I keep analyzing the global context within our cultural context, and then I start looking for themes that allow me to understand the principles beyond the physical expressions of what they would call development. The things we look at and say, those guys are better. They spend too much time in the physical. My people spend too much time in the unseen, and they lived there quite a lot. So now that we live in a world that is unseen more because of the new 5G technology, the world is going to be more of the unseen, and how you experience it is going to be more important than physical. For example, Uber already has expressed that. People are tending to be more in love with having access to mobility or transportation as opposed to ownership of an item called a car. So then what happens to the physical realm where you thought that the car defined you? So that's from the perspective of Western history. The physical manifestation of their greatness dwelled within the physical realm quite a lot. And in Africa, the spiritual stayed deeply embedded in our psyche, in our music, in our expressions of forms of expressions. And now that we are in a world where it's 5G, then the African spirit is going to become the spiritual property, whereas theirs was intellectual property. So you see now, intellectual property protection, Africa, spiritual property protection. And that's where the future is. That's 5G. That's critical thinking. That's where I'm more focused on. Yeah. So I draw from my history, but not simply from my 1977 to this Kawesa. That's too narrow to sort of bring context.
Yeah, it's MUN-Star G, the 8th way. Nkera muzi hustle, nara ndembera muzi battle. I know life is one big struggle, but sometimes nebuza chinagwa kino ngate fenna picture twatondebwa mu ya mukama. Fenna tulya venezike tusala, fenna tuli basine era abasinga twenenya. Nato bonabona nze asinga why me? Aye lwaki nze tyega, lwaki nze sigagawala, lwaki bwentegeka ekivule nkuba lwetonya, ne lwaki balama nsinga, lwaki Uganda World Cup ekyatula ennyo nyingira, nga lwaki corruption taggwa, lwaki ba politician babeera batusiriwaza. Yo, I need some answers kubanza amazima mbikoye kyo kyekyo. Omuntu ave yambulira amazima nze mbikoye. At some point you feel like giving up, nigga.
Ndamanya hunda ruga, ndareba hundi kuza, mumisha hundi kuza, chiga float charge kuza. Otawamani kwenda kwitwa chiniga, Uganda yo misho lyakwate zo big figures. Jiro mujinya mwana kora na mani, tindenda raparangira hip hop ereshashura lyari. Emyaka jakarenga bandavuga gari, nashanga fani yangira ntiboro maramani. Ounda kanjira handsome kwa tejo ipsam net shwara, hip hop yanyereshashura lyari. Leka kusomese kuno kwefagao kurasto leshanga twena twashongora. Leka kusomese kuno kwefagao rugamu byamunde kondereri we yehinjire. Ejini chiga flow ndajitamish ne mas ndazaha chati nanye karuha yama Ethan ni kwetiri. What? This song is for you, Ugandans, and the world all over.
Mwana wanyabondela lindile biri mu maso. There's a brighter day. Topo watogwa mu manyi wadenge mbere kane kole chisomo
understand.
Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa.
Cambodia.
Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa.
Deep in the soil, the love of the land. Oh, how my heart longs to be there again. Like the days of my dreams, and the nights alone by your streams. Feel the magic, I feel the peace. With the lions, wildebeest. With the eagles flying high.
I want to take you to Mbale, and I want to take you to Ankole, and I want to take you to Uganda, and I want to take you to Busoga.
There goes my soul, there goes my mind. All the beauty you could ever find. My motherland, oh my motherland, my motherland. Deep in the forest, across the land, I hear the calling, I understand. Like this song of my soul, how my story will unfold. I love, 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 Uganda. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, Ankole. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, Madi. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, Lubara. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, my motherland. Oh, my motherland. I feel the magic, I feel the peace on the savannas, the mountain peaks, like the great days of old, when the Nile overflowed, abundance across the land, and the people down hand in hand.
Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa. Chenda, nene chirisa.
Deep in the forest, across the land, I hear the calling, I understand. Like the song of my soul, how my story will unfold. Tiena, tiene tilis. Tiena, tiene tilis. Tiene tilis.
I want to take you to Mbale, and I want to take you to Ankole, and I want to take you to Uganda, and I want to take you to
Iyagale, iyagale, iyagale. Kalo betoni kijelela, abiba beki unyiti gweno, uwinyo bechamu belipoga, chengo bepodu iwi gweno, iwi gweno. Iwigweno tin Uriama biba no Uriama goronam no Abiba nechucha Uriama biba cha Abiba Ugorunam Abiba cha Ugorunam Uwinya biba Uwinyu gorunam Uwinya biba cha Uwinyu gorunam Uwinyu biba. That's the ego. The ego is one of the birds that you find in Uganda. It's a strong bird, feeds on only fresh meat. The eagle is one of the birds that I admire. It has a nature of taking time to go up into the mountain for a fast, cleans out its system. It's also known for its great hunting skills, perfect eyesight, and perfect catch. Once it sets its eye on something, a prey, it will dive swiftly and it never misses. Uwinya biba, uwinyu gorunam, uwinya biba cha, uwinyu gorunam, uwinyu gorunam. Now that's the marabou stork. It's a large bird found in the stork family. People love to call it the undertaker. It feeds on everything: metal, stoned, rotten stuff, fresh stuff. Also took time to clean Kampala city. Walks around with a sack of acid hanging below his neck. I love the Uwinyu Gorunam because of his, elegant movement. Walks around with its hands folded behind his back. Kind of amusing. I love it so much, huh? Uwinya biba, Uwinyu Gorunam, Uwinya biba cha, Uwinyu Gorunam, Uwinyu bueno. Now that's the unfortunate chicken. Now this is a fact. Did you know that the chicken is a very soft-hearted bird? It actually gets depressed, and when it does get depressed, its feathers fall off its body. And this is another fact, that the chicken is a very sensitive bird in protecting its chicks. When you approach its territory, it will fight for its dear life. I'm very sure most of you as children were scratched by a chicken. But this is another fact, that no single household and no restaurant can survive without a chicken recipe. Is that a true fact? So as the saying goes, we need to live and let live, right? Because that's just like the Abiba and the Ogorunam. We all feed on chicken, but we should take it slow, right? Uwinya Abiba, Uwinyu Gorunam, Uwinya Abiba cha, Uwinyu Gorunam. Yale chengu pepodu. Ubepodi wikweno, iki. Yale, chengo bepodu. Ubepodi wikweno, iki. Yale, chengo bepodu. Ubepodi wikweno, iki. Yale, chengo bepodu. Ubepodi wikweno, iki.
My name is David Okwi, and I'm the shop manager here at Oduka. Our vision is really to bring technology closer to the people, closer to you, tech that you can afford, tech that lasts, tech that is durable, and tech that you can use to simplify your life. My inspiration behind starting Oduka came from the fact that I've been blogging or writing about tech for the past 10 years. But the stuff that I've been writing about has not been locally available in the market. So what we did is, let's bring this technology to the people. So we really had to start a store, an actual store that you can order today and then have the product delivered to you tomorrow. So currently we launched with mobile accessories. Think a car phone charger, car phone mount, iPhone charger, micro USB, Type-C, charging accessories like this power extension here with 4 ports that you can use to charge your phone, as well as the other ports for appliances. We test our products and make sure that they're up to standard. We vet our suppliers. We don't just get any supplier. Other than the fact that COVID-19 has forced you to sell online, there are very many advantages why you should do that. One of the advantages is the convenience that you're bringing to your customers. 2 is that you have a wide market that expands beyond your working clients. We intend to grow, to bring more tech, to bring tech to the everyday user out there, and to bring really good tech. In order to do that, we intend to scale our product categories and to also cement our position as a leader in electronic products.
We are all born in this world, a world full of challenges, failures, and success, surrounded with issues affecting every common man and woman, but mold us to be strong-willed, hard-working people, able to achieve anything even after coronavirus. This is a 30 minutes television program focusing on Uganda's response to the global coronavirus pandemic. We examine strategies, public response, financing, media, and people recovering from coronavirus. The COVID Wins TV show is simply love over fear, not stigmatization. Coming soon.
Known and respected, bold and very provocative. This is XXL Season 3 and my name is Eddie Okila. Now, after last week going in the streets of Kampala and trying to talk to Ugandans, trying to find out who they are and actually trying to find out the value that defined us as Ugandans, very many people had different opinions about who they are as Ugandans, and some of them say I am Ugandan because I was born here, and others say I'm Ugandan because of my culture, and my father told me I'm a Ugandan. So we want to find out who actually is a true Ugandan. On the set today and with me is the senior citizen of Uganda, Mr. Moses Simon Kahero, the senior, not the young one, and Mr. Tony Miro Chibuka, who was actually on the show last week and he's back today, and we'd like to find out who we are as Ugandans, what are the values that define us as a country and as a people. To find out exactly what we're looking for and what we need to shift Uganda from today to the next level, what we call the paradigm shift, I have the senior citizen, Mr. Moses Simon Kahero himself, the senior, and Tony Miro Chibuka, who was actually on the show last week and is back. This gentleman is amazing. He discussed certain things that got very many people thinking about who they are as Ugandans. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I will start with you, senior. Are you Ugandan?
I am a Ugandan.
What makes you a Ugandan?
My outlook, my thinking, my individualism makes me Ugandan.
Okay. So you have gone away from not being defined as born in Uganda, and one would expect to say born in Uganda. When you say outlook, what do you exactly mean?
First and foremost, being an individual in Uganda, I have come to be by occupation, for instance.
Yeah.
I am a husband. Then I'm a father. Then I'm a grandfather. That's my occupation.
Let me ask you, Mr. Tony Mira, are you Ugandan?
Yes, I am Ugandan.
What makes you a Ugandan?
What makes me Ugandan is the knowledge of who I am and what I stand for. Just like Mr. Kahiru said, it's deeper than just being born, that I was born in Uganda. It is deeper than just having a passport that I am Ugandan. But the things I do are the things that represent me, the things I believe and stand for. Those make me be the man I am, Ugandan.
Senior, what is your take on the way the young people think today?
Unfortunately, many of them, I think, have been derailed from the true values, not only of a Ugandan, but of a human being.
Okay.
Many of them are thinking that they should be what they are because of what they have in their pockets. Not because of what they think, not because of what they do, or not because of what they should do. That is a disappointment for me.
Okay.
And I put it on the parenting, directly on the parenting. We have not played our role properly.
As parents?
As parents.
Okay.
And the children have gone astray. We have given them the wrong signals on what makes them to be what they should be. Basically, we have put a lot of emphasis on money in my pocket, on what I have.
As opposed to giving the true value of being a human being and
participating and contributing to society.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And Mr. Miro,
yes,
where do you think we have gone wrong?
I think it's deeper than just where we've gone wrong. It is a matter of what haven't we seen? Because like Senior said, when you look at the way we've been brought up, one, we've been brought up to understand more deficiency than efficiency. We've been brought up to understand more lack than abundancy. We've been, so when they show you more that there is deficiency, things are not enough, you fight so hard to have because all your focus is there.
Yes.
But when you come from a very abundant background in terms of the social awareness, the environmental awareness, your approach is much more about how much am I contributing to this that already is. So that, like he said, our society has been derailed to the fact that the focus is how much are you getting rather than how much are you able to contribute. And I think that's what it is. So my view is we should look more on what we have, and then we design that and be able to share it with society for a more significant growth of this country, than rather than how much do I take from this society. And that's what is happening. Our parents and society has shown us that, look, those things are the things you need, and it's not you to give us significance. Yeah.
Okay. Senior, you have touched something quite very interesting, that the parents today are more about what is in the pocket, and the outlook of when you have in the pocket, the outlook should show that I actually have the muscles to control. Was this the same during your time?
When we were growing up, our parents directed us in different ways. Because if I talk about my own father,
yes,
he was a teacher. And from school, we'll go home and we'll be taught, we'll be parented into what good citizens are. What should we do? We will do all the work at home. Whatever is needed to be done in the house, we will do it, which is not what today's child does. And the parent is part of
what the child is doing.
Is what the child is doing or what the child is not doing. And this is where I say it's a responsibility of the parent, the direction which you are taking.
Okay. And Mr. Miro, yes, when you were being brought up as a child, what was your experience compared to what we now see today?
Yes, I'm more of a today person, so
I was waiting for what Senior is going to say. I was waiting for what Senior is going to. He was dying to attack you. Eh?
Yes. So I'm more of a today person, so yes. I'm going to speak more of what it is today.
Good.
And good enough. I'm a dad. I have kids, so I know what it's like. The thing is, it's deeper than just these basic things that we see. The chance we are giving, our children may not do what you used to do, but definitely have to participate into something.
Yes.
And even as ourselves, the way we because now you are our parents, you're the people who brought us up, and actually I think it's very important and it's very good that now we have a dad and a son.
Yes.
So it gives diversity in our outlook. Now this is it. First and foremost, I always tell people, this generation my generation, your generation, yes, has been given this outlook or this view that actually the things you desire are there, not in here. Their generation, I always get to make my friends laugh that we used to pay 60,000 shillings, but my dad used to pay that 6 times in a term, so I would go home 6 times. But today, you find that your daughter could be paying like 1 million shillings and you actually pay till the other term, yes, because the resources are there. You find that someone like that border person you talked about, yes, they're earning 30,000. There are things that they are able to do, even those that don't have money. But what makes people not content this time? Because this generation, many of us are not content. Many of us don't work as much as we should. Not in terms of strength and how much you put in, but in terms of the value for what we are assigned to do. We don't do, because we think that they have more than us. Like he said, they would leave school. I guess your parents being teachers, they didn't have as much, like maybe even these teachers could have much more. But the way they saw it,
they had more than the teachers of today.
Oh, then
okay.
that's okay. But you see that they engaged them. They made him do housework, I suppose. They gave you the chance to realize that, look, it's not just you getting from us, it's you to participate in giving back to us.
Yeah.
So a community was built on how much each one of them was contributing to the community. Now today, all the way from the politician, all the way from the classroom, all the way from the donor community or the Western community, it is being driven that actually it is society to give you.
Which do you agree with that, Senior? That it is a society to give you, not you to give to the society?
No, it's wrong. I should give to the society.
Yes.
But what he's saying is today it's the other way around.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, you a parent, right?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing about your child to reverse this trend, which you are criticizing?
Actually, I'm not criticizing, I'm just analyzing it. But my approach is, me as a parent now, a person who has learned how to be a parent, the first thing I'm learning is children participate in just basic things. The ability to share with each other. The ability to realize that if I took tea from here, I have to take the cup there. Just the movement from this to that point is a lesson. I always tell them that when you wake up, the first basic things, lay your bed. The ability to add value in that moment, it is. It is a lesson. Now, they look simple steps, but they act, and they are. Kids of nowadays, you didn't have an iPad.
No.
You didn't have a phone. Your dad never had one. No. My kid plays with my phone.
What were you using by the time, by the way, if I may ask?
For what?
Or you didn't have iPad?
No, we didn't need them.
Okay.
Using when and where?
Okay, good. Allow him to continue, yes.
So that kind of society, things have changed. Definitely, people say technology has come in. This is the .com, but yes, there is a .com. Trust me, tomorrow it could be a .com. As in, things will always change. But let the values we stand for. I'm not a kind of person who's going to say don't do this, don't do that. I believe that some things are just indirecting. Trust me, if you're hungry, no one is going to tell you to eat. If you're sick, no one is going to complain for you. You will do it yourself. Likewise, if you need something, go out for it. Don't wait for someone to do it for you. Now, if we do that on individual level, piece by piece, the entire society will have what it needs. If you need a good road, there is a road where you pour rubbish. That I've seen.
And you want to pass from there.
And you want to pass from
there. You pour the rubbish and you want to pass from there.
You get it? There is this guy who says, look, our roads are narrow. But trust me, go in his well-fenced house. You'll find a heap of garbage. And he drives out his Mercedes. Now, you can't do something much more than that. Trust me, even though you put Madam Jennifer Msi to sit there with her skimps, that wouldn't change it. Now that means that other people won't be able to get the service they desire. Now, if we do our individual, if we take on our individual contribution to society,
yes,
there will be a total or a collective benefit in society that all of us shall share.
Fantastic. I think you can see where we're coming from. Being orderly, I think that is what Mr. Miro was trying to say. Being orderly, if you agree with me.
I agree entirely, and it starts from the home. You know, the home is the basic unit of a nation. It's the home, the village, then the parish, then the county, then the district, and
the nation.
The nation. It starts from the home.
This is the Glass House exclusive, and you stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Double XL Season 3, and with me is the senior citizen of Uganda, Moses Simon Kahero, on the Glass House, alongside Mr. Tony Miro Chibuka. Senior, one thing that is disturbing me a lot, and I have been asking myself, why is it like that? Why is it that we Ugandans don't value who we are as a people?
When you say we Ugandans, what? You are implying every single Ugandan?
Yes.
The problem is not wanting to give. I made up my mind a long time ago to play my role, play my part.
Good.
In what needs to be done. You can even come to my village and see what I'm doing. I am playing my part.
Are you an LC?
I took
LC1?
No. Again, you are going to government. Again, you are going to government.
You don't. So you're playing your part as just a citizen.
I am an individual participating in my community and playing my role.
So you are Ugandan?
Yes.
Okay.
I am not even going to the politicians to ask them to come and do our road. Yes. I am doing the road. Come and see.
You see,
did you just hear that from?
Yes. No. Yes. You see, I enjoy this. This is who we are. This is Uganda. Now, let me tell you something. He said something that the problem is that Ugandans don't want to give. They expect to be given. Not only in service, in every way. You give someone a job, they want to get your money without working for the money. People will easily find it easy to say, I'll go and beg from so and so, but they don't want to work for the money. Now, this is it. People must understand the power of giving, of service, of resources, of anything. Have you ever asked yourself why the West or the donor community, even in the hard economic times, they stay giving out donations and grants? The thing is, giving is the ultimate power of control.
So the more you give...
Yes, the more you give, the more control. So if you give service unto community, the easy it is for you to control. Actually, that's where true leadership is. But when you expect to get from anyone or from anything, you're easily manipulated, you're very vulnerable to manipulation, and trust me, you'll be taken for a ride. Now, if we need better roads, let's give ourselves, trust me, the roads will be there. Yes. Be a more productive society, and trust me, you will warrant services there. People get to say, but government is, no, we don't even need to mention it. It's just like a father. You go, you take your children to school, but if they don't know that they have to give you back, not only by performing better, but just it's the responsiveness to your action that stimulates more of your giving or of your acts in that responsibility. Now we need to take that. If we need to create a global significance, let's learn to give, not only as a people but as a country. Trust me, I was amazed. I'm very amazed. For example, USAID, they will manipulate, they will multiply, they will do multiple giving strategies. You find they'll say, we are giving this organization, UNATU, whatever. They sponsor various organizations. But that's how they spread the control they desire.
I just realized that for every $1 that these people give to Africa, they expect $1,000 back. So if they give you $1 for a year, they will take $1,000 back. And they take it. And they take it. Now, I was having a discussion with a boda guy. And this is quite very interesting and disturbing at the same time. This guy makes 30,000 in a day. He takes 30 people. Lukumi, 30 people, he makes 30,000 in a day. But he's crying of how the government is not helping him. He's crying of how he's poor. So I said, why not get back to finding out who we are and what we actually can be, and now we can get rich, because everybody wants to be rich. So is this guy productive or is not productive?
What is happening is that everything that we are is not defined by us, it's defined by someone else. For example, if they're defining poverty, they will define it that, according to World Bank, a poor person is one who lives below $1 a day. Yes. But I've learned that in our communities, there are communities that don't need that dollar to survive. Yes. They have their house made of weto and mud, as in things that are around them. Well, because I've learned that actually living in a grass-thatched house doesn't necessarily mean you're poor. Because today you pay a lot of money to go to Gaba Beach, to go to Resort or Munyonyo, wherever, and you find grass-thatched houses there, right? So, meaning that they are no more a measure of poverty, but actually they are an icon or a representation of prestige. Yes. So it's the way we package these things that we have that really matters. Now, you call a guy poor, he has 10,000 cows, because he doesn't have a pair of jeans. That's the guy in Karamoja. Like
that's the one they're saying is poor.
Yes. And then, 10,000 cows. Wow. That guy for you are in Kampala sleeping in a house of 200 million. The guy with how many cows? For him, his wealth is not counted the houses you're talking about. Yes. Or in the dollars, which dollar he took. He's counting his cows. So there is that wealth that we need to define. So let us be the ones to define poverty. Let us be the ones to define wealth. Let us be the ones to define health. Let us be the ones to define let's define these things, because I'm learning why, for example, our hospitals or the health center facilities don't have medicines and beds. Maybe the model we are taking is not our own. Yeah.
Also, we are copying the things from somewhere and bringing it here and forgetting about who we are.
Yes, because these things shall always be deficient because the software hasn't been worked on. The hardware will be there, those are the buildings we see, but the software, the people who attend to these things is not enhanced. So my approach is, let's develop the software as we work on the hardware, or let's work on the software and it will require its own hardware where it can be fitted.
That's a life-changing explanation from Mr. Tony Miro, Senior. You have been working for so long, okay?
Yes.
And I believe you are wealthy.
I believe I'm not poor, yes.
Yes. That's why I said you're wealthy. We would like to share your experience with somebody out there who think that, because a bunch of young people today believe that coming out of the university and getting a job immediately, they want to drive in 6 months, they want to live in a big house in 6 months, and in the end they become thieves and begin to steal. How can you help such a person?
I think, yes, religion comes in here.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Good.
Religion comes in. Religion gives us values of what we should do, what we should not do. And once you know what you should do, and you are serious with your life, you do what you ought to do, and you don't do what you ought not to do, you'll get there.
Yes.
You'll get there. That's what it was for me. It's a pity. When we came out, what we were earning was what was ours, and we were using that one to do anything that needed to be done. We did not need any extras. As you have said, today, what a person earns necessarily is not enough. Even when he takes a job, he knows from day one, this is not enough for him.
Miro, how can we change that mindset? You as the man of today, how can we change the mindset of that person who think that everything is not enough, I need to get more and more and more and more, and has lost the value of who he is or she?
I think first and foremost, this is what we're doing right now. We are speaking unto ourselves,
yes,
because life is selfish in a way that, as I speak, for example, it's much more about how I get it now than, though I know it spills over to the rest. He's speaking because it grounds him more, so the rest are also able to tap onto that, because you can never give what you don't have. Now, my view is, first and foremost, these people have to believe that they are. Then they have to find what to fight for. And because you know who you are, you won't live beyond your means.
Yes.
And if at all you are, then you have to be able to take the consequences and to cushion that.
Yes.
Because like you said, someone gets a job, first time, they know the money is not enough. Do you know why? The moment they get their job, they apply for a salary loan, they make the salary loan the next day.
So they actually live beyond their means?
Yes, immediately I have 2 million shillings. My mind is telling me actually you need 20 million shillings. Do you know why? At 2 million shillings, I need to buy a plot of land of 10 million shillings. I need to have a car, which is a necessity, it's okay. But society has done it in their time. Everyone was being driven to saving. In our time, everyone is being driven to borrowing. Now, borrowing without investment is catastrophe. It's okay for businessmen to borrow because they need to use that money to make more money.
More money, yes.
But if you're not a businessman and you borrow, there are two things that are happening. You're either eating into your future income, which sometimes is not certain, or alternatively, what you have acquired. For example, you've borrowed 20 million shillings, you've bought a plot of land. The two things that will happen, either you'll sell the same plot of land, if you can't develop it, 4 years from now, at seemingly a higher price, but again, which will eat away.
Yeah.
It will be eaten away by the interest.
Yeah.
So you've virtually done nothing apart from the good feeling that I own the piece of land.
So you live a miserable man or woman for the rest of your life?
Because your anticipations are bigger than what you are. Yet if you work steadily, you find that you get to listen to ideas that are able to enhance and make you wealthier. Steadily, I enjoy that, and sustainably.
This is the Glass House exclusive on Double XL, and I'm going to ask these two gentlemen a very serious question as we wind up. I've always talked about one thing that will help us come out of this predicament. One, have to realize to be productive, just, and orderly. Now, these things have been defined in several ways, and everybody seems to have their opinion. Today, I want us to have the authority to define, when we say productive, what do we mean? So I'll start with you, Miro. When we say productive, what do we mean? And Senior, when we say being orderly, what do we mean?
When someone means productive, you're able to transfer, change the environment about using the resources that you have the immediate resources that you have around you to enhance personal, you basically, you do your personal development through communal contribution. If you are a border rider, take it out there and put much more than just sitting, getting onto the horns of the bike, and give some value unto the person you're carrying.
Yes.
If you're selling, let's say, groundnuts, have much more, present them better. Always have a desire to add value onto who you are and the things you do and the way you do your things. That is productivity. Not for the money, but for the way things are because you are there.
Which eventually will make you better.
That will make you better.
Sure. Senior, when we say orderly, what do we mean?
Orderly means you know what should be done and when it should be done, and you are serious about it.
So when a taxi man rides over a pavement, is he being orderly?
Now he doesn't know what should be done. He doesn't know what should be done. Or he knows what should be done, but he's not doing it.
How do we help that person?
I will tell him that's wrong. There may be an argument, but the people will know it's wrong to go up that pavement.
So what you're saying is, if all of us, when you're in that taxi or on that border man riding, rather on that border and the man is riding you, if he does something wrong, you should be able to have the authority to say, look, this is wrong.
Yes.
So if each and every one of us in the taxi begins to do the same thing, then do you think we're going to change?
Positive, we'll change. We will change. Including the policeman. The policeman sees something going wrong, he ignores.
Okay.
He sees a person hooting, he will not go and tell him, don't hoot in this built-up area. He knows it's wrong.
What is being just?
Being just is being fair to whoever is about you. Just be fair, be fair.
Okay. Miro?
Yeah, I think being just is it's standing in for what you would be yourself. You take a position of that other person for yourself. What would it be if it were me? Like if you threw, you see, there are two things. Normally, all these three move hand in hand.
You know, be careful. What would you do if it were me?
Yes, that's being
fair. There are those guys who know that it's right to go to that window, break it, and pick what it is.
I think he's right.
We'll be right back next week when we have Senior back on the show, and Miro will be back on the show, and we'll be discussing how we can get you better without breaking the window. Actually, he said, be serious. We want to come back and define what is being serious. Next week, keep the kisses and disses coming, xxl@houseoftalent.ug, and you can go to our Facebook page and talk to us. Let's take the discussion there and get to the Twitter page, and let's continue talking.
Hi, my name is Chimera, a gospel artist, and this is my story. It's always difficult to find a way of defining very quickly, but if you have to use some titles, I'm a Christian, I'm an African, I'm a Ugandan, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a musician, among other things I'm still discovering, but that's I guess who I am. I was born here, and I've grown up here. I've gone to the schools here, I've eaten the Rolex here, and I live and breathe this air. What makes me Ugandan? Well, one, the obvious is that I was born here. I was born in Mulago in the 80s, and my parents, my heritage is from Uganda. But the other thing is that besides all that, if you could take out all that, I love this country. I really do. So that makes me Ugandan. One of my strong things, the thing about me that's really strong is my faith. That's very definitive for me. I'm a believer in Jesus. I go to Watoto Church, which is in Uganda, you know. And that faith infiltrates everything that I do. So in everything that I do, I'm striving to be like Jesus. So if you can think of anything that Jesus would do, I'm striving to be that in my family and in all the roles that I've just mentioned. Chimera the musician, there's a couple of questions that could go with that. That could be, when did I start doing music? How did I start? Why did I start? Why did I write a certain song and not the other? And maybe, have you heard my music? Maybe not. Maybe you will sometime. Hopefully sooner than later. If I were to pick one of those questions, when did I start doing music? It was 2014, really, formally. And that's when that's when I got married also. I started doing the first song that I formally released. There's one that we did as a collaboration before, that's patriotic and so on. But leaving that alone, the main song that I released first was a song called Gwe Wange, and it's a song that's gotten to be played on lots of radio stations, and I really appreciate that. And that's a song I wrote as a love song to my wife when we were getting married. So that's sort of what kicked it off. A few months later, we were thinking, yeah, it was already kind of planned, but we're like, yeah, I think we should start with this, roll it out, share it. Some people had listened to it, some people hadn't, and it was really well received and kind of opened up the way for other songs that I did. My inspiration, there's a scripture in the Bible. It's Matthew chapter 5 verse 16. It's my definitive thing. And it says, let your light so shine before all men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So I try to put that as an inspiration into everything that I do. So when I write music, I'm a gospel musician, but for some of the songs that you may hear, they may not have Jesus in them, or they may not have this or that. That's very, maybe like quoting a scripture and things like that. But what that inspires me to do though is to create a product, to create something with my gifts and abilities that adds value to you. I don't know if that makes sense. So whether you're a father, whether you're just a Ugandan trying to make ends meet, whether you're a person who's going through a difficult time, whether you're a person of faith and you need some strength. Gwe wange nze wo gwe wange nze wo. Resolve our misconceptions of each other. They really did. I actually grew up with a fairly musical family, and we used to pray together, Christian family. We used to pray together every day, we used to sing. And that's how I picked it up. I just kind of picked it up. So I used to listen to a lot of radio in the house. Back then I think it was like just Radio Sanyu and Capitol and a few others. I mean, now there's 1,000,002, right? But so that's how I picked up singing, and it was always encouraged, and it wasn't something towards like, it wasn't like a requirement, like because you're singing you have to do an album or whatever. There's lots more people who sing beautifully and what, but they just haven't done an album, and that's fine. So yes, to answer your question directly, my parents did encourage me. She'll apologize, but her words cut too deep. Would I allow my daughter to sing? Of course, no hindrance whatsoever. Sing. So yeah, that's the thing. Don't tell people that you care if you leave them empty-handed with no cash for a taxi. Don't tell people that you care if your pocket be full but you leave them feeling hungry. Don't say a word if you don't mean that. I'd rather you walk than you go say that. Cause every time you use those words, this is what I hope you mean. I care. And if you have a crisis in your family, call me up. I care. Please don't hesitate to call if you need. Helping another artist and so on, but it wasn't a paid thing. So I was like stranded, no transport. How do I, So I woke up to one of the guys who was on our team. I'm like, hey man, I need a help. I need some dime. He didn't think much of it. Just took like 2-3 minutes away. Came back, gave me a 10K. And on my way to Ntinda at the time, I wrote like half this song in there because regardless of how much you feel for me, if you can do something about it, help me out. And interestingly, that's what the Bible says in James chapter 4. I think it's chapter 4 or something, where it says, if you can do something about someone's situation, don't refuse. Don't say, God bless you, you'll be fine. No. Dig in and help. Mulokole tolimba toja kunsabira. Afazali ompe chikumi chenalya. Cause if you walk right by ngatomfako, that was not what the preacher said. Read your Bible, the book of James. Faith without works is simply dead. I care. So don't fight if it's for the sake of fighting. One of those people is my mom. The fact that she raised all like 9 or 10 of us, and she's still strong, and she wakes up every morning to pray and is there for her children every step of the way. If you're like that, you're the kind of person that just inspires me. In terms of music, I'll pick, man, there's so many artists, but I'll pick a quick one. I'll pick, there's Pompey, there's Mali Music, there's a guy called Propaganda who does spoken word. But I'll just pick Mali Music for something that's really cool that he did. Is an American musician. When he got a record deal, like the biggest thing he ever did, instead of writing a song or doing a song that kind of glorified the whole, maybe I made it, and all my haters, I don't care, you can do what you want type thing, he actually did a song called Beautiful. It's like 2-3 years old now. Beautiful, but he did that to appreciate everyone that had helped him along the way. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, that guy has a good head on his shoulders, and I aspire to be that kind of person. There's a Zambian artist called Pompey. Just his lyrics are just brilliant. The way he puts it together, brilliant. Hi, my name is Chimera, a gospel musician, rated fresh on XXL.
Was so tired of walking alone. I needed someone to keep me strong. Not just anybody would do. She had to be strong and beautiful. Now I have you, my wishes came true. Gwe wange nze
Singing. It was playing while we were doing our first dance. But yeah.
Da da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da da dum da da dum da da dum da da. Was so tired of walking alone. I needed someone to keep me strong. Not just anybody would do. She had to be strong and beautiful. Now I have you, my wishes came true. Gwe wange nze I've been searching high and low, trying to find the girl to call my own. Was disappointed by the ones that came before, but you are the one I waited for. Gwe wange nze gwe wange nze till the rivers run dry and the sun refuses to shine. Like death and taxes, I will stay, hey, till the rivers run dry and the sun refuses to shine. Like death and taxes, I ain't going nowhere, babe. Nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Gwe mutima gwange, nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Gwe mutima gwange, nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Gwe mutima gwange, nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Gwe mutima gwange, nabagireka omutima gwange, anabeera mama w'abaana bange, nalulunja singabona. Gwe wange, gwe wange, gwe wange, nze wo, nze wo, gwe, 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 gwe. Serabiranga biseera byetwalina, nongolera ekyokulya nondeetera. Kuva lwe wagenda omutima gukunoonya, obuli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba. Okuva lwe wagenda mutima gukunoonya, obuli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba. Twali lumu lwe wagenda, tewasibula nange saamanya, nalabiraawo kakaseera ayiseewo nga sikulabako.
tukutendereza Yesu uri mwana w'endiga n'abagamba bajewe jinja Lazaro nalimuka n'abagamba nti atalina kibi asooka mukube jinja Bafirisuuti besiga Goliyasi nebesanga nebeyubisa Kadawudi ne kacanga envulo ne kamukuba nenkona nenga arise and shine for the glory of the Lord is upon you. Sewala muge naye mukama ddala sowa abakusiga kye basabo bawa sitaani yanjoga fuwa n'oluwa naye mukama toyiwa bakwesiga and shine for the glory of the Lord is upon you.
Manchester is known as a city of invention. It's where the Industrial Revolution started.
There is a lot that motivates me, but mostly it's the people around me. The people around me. If you hurt me today, trust me, I'll write a good song about pain.
Yana diak ma yamo tiama mira de ya ro ma kelo de ma mira de mira de ma gamu le ma mira de da da kamu Nyana gini, me baby nyana gini, go nyana gini. I go down every year. I go down every year. Man wood. Oh yeah.
They projected the image of Africa negatively. They projected Africa always in a negative light. Jungles, savages, cannibals, nothing civilized. And naturally, it was so negative until it was negative to you and me. And you and I began to hate it. We didn't want anybody to tell us anything about Africa, and much less call us an African. And in hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. You can't hate your origin and not end up hating yourself. You can't hate Africa and not hate yourself.
Africa, I love you daily. My home, I think about you every day. Africa, I love you daily. My home, I think about you every day. You're so beautiful, Mama land. Fertile, glorious, sweet Africa. Flora and fauna is delicate, oil and gold is tempting. Flora and fauna is delicate, the oil and gold is tempting.
Rise up, Africa.
I love
you. Viva Africa. We love you. Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva
We love you. Africa, I love you daily. My home, I think about you every day. You're so beautiful, Mama land. Fertile, glorious, sweet Africa. Flora and fauna is delicate, oil and gold is tempting. Flora and fauna is delicate, the oil and gold is tempting.
Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva Africa.
We love you.
Rise up, Africa.
I love a diamond, standing up to a pyramid. The sun is always out, the Nile flows so deep. There is no place like Africa. I am born in Africa.
Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva Africa.
We love you.
Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva Africa.
We love you.
Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva Africa.
We love you.
Rise up, Africa.
I love you.
Viva
Yes, I. Mukwano gwo mulungi gwe walina walagawogo ekusanawo. Mukwano gwo mulungi gwe walina walagawogo ekusanawo. Serabiranga biseera bye twalina, nongolera ekyokulya nondeetera. Kuva lwe wagenda omutima gukunoonya, obuli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba. Okuva lwe wagenda mutima gukunoonya, obuli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba. Wali lumu lwe wagenda tewasibula, nange saamanya, nalabiraawo kakaseera ayiseewo nga sikulabako.
Kasera kasomero Kodi toyagala kusoma. Okay, kasera ka holiday.
Port Bell Drive.
Kasera kasanyu lingi nkomewo wakaga omwana pulira bulungi ate nga ndi champion because nabiwadde level nzikiriranga birigi lwakuba kawuse kabadde bulungi kantambuza pole ng'etize ekiro ky'amagi naye olumu tekiŋŋanda fubuka gambigi baramusizaako mwenna bali mu kukola siringi aleta holiday package kutse kalamu ku makya muwita nzuuka ntuze alamu ekyo ky'okusigalamu eyo Boko Haram son egi nasaako omukono nayiwako n'ekinkumu. Even when it gets sunny, when you feel the hunger in your tummy, go top of walk on your money. $1 vela champion. Nesa kalamo, izelo. Papa wa mwana, buladi chachimo. Nesa kalamo, izelo. Papa wa mwana, ati chachimo. Nesa kalamo, izelo. Papa wa mwana, buladi chachimo. Nesa kalamo, izelo. Tedi akubidde koti yendabye ku TV nga tuwayamu ne luga nga bakulu abenvi gufala sabe tusonyiwo ng'oli ku mavivi n'alotanga owateke nga shalavi ngobyewo nsute ku lutambi ng'ali ku muvi tachi nyingi enyoka ngaya inese nezavi mbajjavili ku mutwe nga jonje shovi gwanemera hip hop kujawo washanivi ni mukulinirira biti ya sowani wamabuladi ya cheyi yesowana mani wasiganga mukama tolimbi wa sitani nange golaba wano njagala kubeera champion takayo omutima omusomesa waakwata ennoni obulamu mbusotanga kagali kabayone sabira nnyo mama wange afune mani siniyasula nkubonzeeko ne max ati kyekimu neza kalamu izelo papa wa mwana buladi kyekimu neza kalamu izelo papa wa mwana ati kyekimu neza kalamu izelo papa wa mwana buladi kyekimu neza kalamu izelo. Even when it gets sunny, when you feel the hunger in your tummy, go top of walk on your money. $1 vela champion. Ati yewezo mumbago wazikuba zene wazine ngoma ela zikuba mu mutima zikiriza tiro muchiri bakatilaba njoka nga musona ninga juba papa wa mwana Stone Edge Jeza Kalamo Don't give up papa wa mwana Chamanye
They say love comes slow, but you have to let it flow. Fefabus alongside Maro. I met a diva, walimu uba, like a nigga beg for some liquor sugar. She was super, she na gold digger. Onanka kasabo kakasa ye full figure. Beli soli mulinga talari ya Benz. Ankubanga umemo no full face. Alikudaya pepisa na mayonnaise. Actress modongoli Eva Mendes. Edobo zidi elivukanga filimbi. Yanyonja sinaba kabazimbi. Yedira kuyomba, yedira kulimba. Onuma romana tatera kulimba. Onanjagala bitole musaba kidala tube bakole. Oyo mwana njagala bentambula menyeka binyumirwa. Kumanya njagala ebinyogere bibate bisesa binyumirwa. Ono mwana njagala anjagala nnyo nange mwagala nnyo. Abaliwo mwaliwo katono yaliwo. Baliwo abaliko mwaliko katono yaliko. Yaliko yaddako. Sugar na yeta kufanana. Mwena mulina mushuka bacha figa munana. Ulile foko undaga binji na yedi yobye salaba. Uli mulungi nnyo ntadde ku musalaba. Banji bakwefasa bajja kuntama. Ndaina walayi nja kubatema kuba mwana njagala bentambula menyeka
nja kubatematema.
Compatriots, victorious fighters of Africa, compatriots, victorious fighters of Africa, you shed your blood for me, you slept in jail for me, you shed your blood for me, all in the struggle for liberty, torture day and night, just because you're black. We can't forget the past, all the souls we lost. We can't deny the fact. Africa will think again. Remember Thomas Sankara, remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba, remember Thomas Sankara, remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba. Maji, voice of freedom, Kanutanu Frelimo, the movement of the people, the root of Pan-Africans. People must unite. Ruma was in prayer. We can't forget the past. We can't deny the fact. Remember Thomas Sankara. Remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba, remember Thomas Sankara, remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba. Drums calling, yes, my brothers, it's the sound of victory. Senegal, Gambia, Senghor is champion. Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, Felix our father. Soweto, 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 Mandela. Soweto, 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 the land of the brave. Thomas Sankara, remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba, remember Thomas Sankara, remember Samora Machel, remember Stephen Biko, remember Patrice Lumumba.
My name is David Okwi, and I'm the shop manager here at Oduka. Our vision is really to bring technology closer to the people, closer to you, tech that you can afford, tech that lasts, tech that is durable, and tech that you can use to simplify your life. My inspiration behind starting Oduka came from the fact that I've been blogging or writing about tech for the past 10 years, but the stuff that I've been writing about has not been locally available in the market. So what we did is, let's bring this technology to the people. So we really had to start a store, an actual store that you can order today and then have the product delivered to you tomorrow. So currently we launched with mobile accessories. Think a car phone charger, car phone mount, iPhone charger, micro USB, Type-C, charging accessories like this power extension here with 4 ports that you can use to charge your phone, as well as the other ports for appliances. We test our products and make sure that they're up to standard. We vet our suppliers. We don't just get any supplier. Other than the fact that COVID-19 has forced you to sell online, there are very many advantages why you should do that. One of the advantages is the convenience that you're bringing to your customers. 2 is that you have a wide market that expands beyond your working clients. We intend to grow, to bring more tech, to bring tech to the everyday user out there, and to bring really good tech. In order to do that, we intend to scale our product categories and to also cement our position as a leader in electronic products.
All the sun is gonna shine so bright. You will know you won the fight. Yeah. Keep on moving, don't stop. Everything's gonna be alright. Toyimira yonge okutambula yande mambingo koye. Yadenga lugendo luwambu oja kumala otokwa musubi.
Welcome to the Creative Industry Talk. This week, my name is Eddie Okela, and in the studio is Faizo Chiwewa and Rasbi Sali. Back on the show, the legend, as Faizo said. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. And of course, we need to play Rasta's song today.
Yeah.
People just don't know that Rasta has a album.
Give you his rights.
Rasta, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Faizo, welcome back to the show. We missed you last week. The internet wasn't doing us justice, but we're happy to have you back on the show today.
Thank you.
Good. How was your trip?
It was good. It was good.
And
relaxation, I think.
Yes, from Karamoja riding the bicycle with kids to wherever you went flying. So those are a good one. Mr. Bicycle himself, how are you today? Yes, you know, Rasta is always riding every Sunday.
Actually, I wanted to recommend him to do the Karamoja thing.
Yes.
I did the 64 kilometers
Kilometers,
in 3 hours, which was really nice. I'm sure Rasta will enjoy it.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I need to go for that as well. And to all of you out there, welcome to the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Eddie Okela, Faizo Chiwewa, and of course Rasbi Sali. We are back to talk about the situation surrounding the creative industry in Uganda. And our topic this week is not far from where we started last week, which is the COVID-19 and its effect and impact on the creative industry. Specifically, we want to focus on investments, investors, events, and partners. This week, we want to talk about partners in that regard. So I will start with you, Faizo. extraordinary situation like pandemics disrupt normalcy and can shake up the industry very much, and we're seeing the sector either can be positively impacted or negatively impacted. Obviously, the creative industry in Uganda has been heavily negatively impacted. And what are the positive developments on the creative industry so far this week, which we can attribute to COVID-19, or this month of April? Now that you're in the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, first of all, it's very good that we are fasting. It takes away the, the stress of worrying about food for the creative. So I recommend all the creative people who are not having any revenues, fast. It will save you some revenues. But on a serious note, I think it is very, there are some significant strides that have been achieved within this period. Some of us have been busy working on certain new products on the market that we are going to bring in, and like this Friday we are doing an orientation of our new platform, an e-commerce platform that we have been developing for the past 8 months. And I would really credit that to COVID, because before we didn't have the time. We were so busy with the events and the usual business. Now when we went back home and had time to be in our own spaces, we found ourselves thinking, and what can we do differently? How can we create sustainability? How can we not get surprised again like we are now with the COVID? So we were not prepared, but now I think it has given us an opportunity to to think how best can we do things differently, how can we survive. But I'm also worried one of the disadvantages of it is that we are going to lose a lot of creatives, because many of them that have been really depending on the arts, for example, in theater, in film, in dance, have not had any opportunity to get any support or any revenues. And even before, they were struggling. So now during this lockdown, they have really suffered more. And I really think most of them are going to change their careers to do certain things that are different. So in the very near future, we are going to find ourselves starting again to build a new industry because of this pandemic.
Wow. Rusby, we left the show last week when you were talking about we need to help creatives to come up with something. And are there any positives so far since you appeared on the show that you have come with today that we can start from, like Faisal said, this month?
Basically, before I kick off, hopefully my body scent is okay for you.
You can
for me, I haven't seen any positives since
from the events perspective.
Since I was last year. Of course, there is no any positives. It's the same story. As Faisal had mentioned, what I've also noticed, people leaving the industry. They are trying to set up themselves into other income-generating staff projects. Because when you look at the industry, we do not know when it will reopen. There's no specific time that in this time the industry will be open. So we are still basically so people are rethinking, even myself, because I have equipment. So the more equipment stays in a store without working, it's affected. You understand? So once in a while we get it out, we try to clean it, put it into power, and all these are costs, because you need to pay for power, you need to pay for water to clean the equipment, even the crew, you need to pay them. So there is no single positivity for now. So we are still stuck in the same old.
Well, Faisal, naturally there have been several negative implications on the creative industry. And like Rasbi has said, for them that are in the event space today, our focus is on the event space, and you are a creator and you have this. How do we get out of this negativity, and could you run us through some of them and how could we navigate them going forward?
I mean, there is no one to blame about the
COVID-19, true.
Yeah, but at the same time,
but there could be some people to blame about COVID-19. We don't know. There's money here and there, but that jokes aside, please proceed. Yes.
I don't know my blame people. So I try to do something about it. I think the negativity in terms of what is there now is really built on the fact that there is a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of less hope and opportunity for people. Like we talked the other time, I think it's really important for, yes, as a people, we need to think for ourselves. How can we survive? But also, on the other hand, we need to be able, as citizens, as governments, because we inform or contribute, plan for our own people.
Yes.
So I think the negativity has been really seeing the imbalance in the approach to the pandemic. Of course, within our limitations, which sometimes we forego as a government. I'm not talking on behalf of the government, I'm not OO, but maybe I can speak like OO when he says that our government spends more than it has, which is the fact, but also the priorities in where it is spending, I think it's where people get more frustrated from. And then they carry on this frustration because they feel there has not been any thought for them. I think it's really, really challenging any mind to find that people, a certain group of people is really living on their lives the way normal, yet another segment is really, really struggling. And if I was in that position, I would like to create a balance. I know it's difficult sometimes, you're not going to feed everyone or make everyone happy, but you have to put up some systems in place where you feel, or you can try to create a balance in the lifestyles, in the livelihoods of the people. So I think that's where the most of the frustrations are, and the negativity comes from. And I don't think it's possible to take that away unless if there is a change in approach or a change in the attitude of the leadership. But I think it's also important to not frustrate ourselves as stakeholders. I understand from RASB, it's a huge investment they have put in over the years. I think he's been working for over 20 years to build his company. It was at the peak of it, and then boom. Now I can imagine all the cables, all the lights, all the microphones. Some of them will not. You plug it in power and just it explodes because it's not been used. All these electrical stuff need to be used to keep them alive. So I think that is very, very challenging for an investment, and I think for the economy and for the people, they have to figure out how to to change their attitude, given the fact that they cannot do anything about it. These things are there. We are not gonna wake up like the Europeans did. I saw it in South Africa. They just came out and just brought out all their, I don't know whether you saw those videos, they came out and brought all the equipment and put it in the street, blocked the road, and they told them,
we need to go back to work.
Or you give us money to survive. And they they try to support them. So I don't think we're going to do that.
Rasba, are you going to bring the trucks on the road?
When you look at our situation here, it's totally different. Because we are not like South Africa, we are not like Europe or America. Here, our system of governance is totally different. You get on the street, you know the precautions.
You might lose the investment itself.
But they fired the people who were doing that. Yesterday I heard. 153.
The policeman who did that. Well, that would be a
so
positive.
They fire after, but
mistakes. People have already suffered. Anyway.
Exactly.
Your equipment is gone. But on that note, borrowing from what Faisal was saying, Rasbi, you have invested heavily into the events industry, as a person. Where does that leave you? We left last week when you're looking for some of the solutions to, somebody to speak live. And I said, let's have Faisal back on the show today, and let's have you back on the show so that Faisal can, we can speak some live nuggets of truth, of how can we move back, what can we do to move back from this COVID-19. What are you thinking? You're now representing the guys in that space. We can't bring all of them here, but at least you are here.
Of course I'm here, but we're all in different situations.
Yeah.
My situation might not be the one of the other person in the same industry.
Yeah.
Basically for me, I'm still cracking down my head to see how I can survive after this. Well, but life has to move on.
Yeah.
So first of all, you need a supportive family. If you don't have support from the other family members, that's also another problem. Because when you're stuck here, if you have a supportive family, they can come in and give you a boost, morale, and basically engaging in other activities to keep you moving. So for me, still I'm stuck. No plan. No plan yet.
Yes. Faisal, do you have a plan for us, B? From your point of view, and I want to bring it from this point that you have a platform you're launching. That platform seems to help sort out the problem, or will help sort out the problem of the artist, the musician. But you see that it's going to go a long way for those who are in creative art, particularly in artists, singers, all right, or theater, painters, or visual art. But the guys who are in the art industry of we make things happen, events, we make things happen. Yes.
When you look at Faisal's case, he's more into the administration.
Yes.
In my case, I'm more into the execution.
Yes.
So I haven't been in that line of planning. Now Faisal in the administration, so his main focus is planning for the industry. That is the difference between me and Faisal. I'm more of an executor.
Yes, yes.
So I haven't been having that plan that in case of this or that.
Yes.
So my main aim is execution, execution, execution.
Yes.
So Faisal should be having a good
So Faisal, let's get down to Faisal here and just ask Faisal. Yes, I was asking the question, how do you help these guys move forward?
I think it's a puzzle that we all have to play to contribute to as an industry or as a sector. And one of the things from a programming perspective, we are prepared. Even if you tell me to roll out tomorrow a festival, I can do a festival tomorrow because I have my program since 2020. I have my artists on just a phone call away. I have everything prepared. I just need authorization. But this authorization also comes with the fact that is it the right time to get this authorization? Because I don't want at the end of the day to be responsible for 50 people getting COVID because of my event. At the same time, can I work in an environment whereby I make sure that even if they are 50 or 100 or 200, they are not going to be at risk of acquiring or getting infected with the virus. So I think this is where the challenge is. And like we were talking last time, I think the plan for us as the presenters and the programmers, we are prepared to present, to work with the industry, to book them, even though we try to do small things, but they are not effective, they are not good enough, they are not enough for people. But I think what needs to be done is the authorities have to sit down on the same table with us and say, okay, like they did for churches, and like they did for for COVID, the COVID cases that were coming in. They designated certain areas. They said Entebbe Virus Hospital is for COVID patients who are getting Mulago. We have a section where, you know, if you have COVID, you go there. If you go to whatever hospital. Now, it's very simple. So for the music industry or for the industry, you can say Bat Valley. Bat Valley is big. You know, and it can host concerts of, I think I've been there when there are like over 2,000 people seated in that hall before COVID. Now, if you just say a space like Bat Valley that hosts over 2,000 people, okay, let's say 1,000 people, you tell it, instead of 1,000, why don't you host 200? And you give them, observe the space, you know, give them the SOPs, make sure that they follow those rules, make sure they will make sure, because they also want to work. They don't want to be caught on the other side of the law.
Nobody wants to not follow what authorities, even when you are being squeezed.
And look at the National Theatre. I was telling you last time, the National Theatre hosts around 372 people who sit in full capacity at the National Theatre. If you say just half of those people, everyone sits at a distance, you can have a concert of Joel, and then Rasby will be in business. You know, you can have a concert of Susan Kerunen, or you can have a concert of, you know, a dance show by Samuel Ibanda, you know, because you need to think for the industry. And these things, the artists are ready, the industry is ready, the service providers are there, but they cannot do it on their own. They cannot just wake up and go and start performing. They need to be backed up by the law, and the law is not supporting them. So that's where the dilemma is.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Faizo and Rasby and myself are going to be talking a little bit more about the pandemic and, of course, the government you know, plans for us to move forward and what we need to do. I think some of the plans that Faizo is sharing is what Rasby was looking for last week, saying, let those who might have better thinking process come through and help us on how we can move forward. I think we're finding a way for this, and if you're a creative mind, a musician, a visual artist, a theater, you know, a drummer, this is your space to be. We'll be right back after the break. This is the Creative Industry Talk.
You want inside me like an amplifier. It a ban, every fresh desire. Like the Holy Spirit with the holy fire. From glory to glory, He might take me higher. Then serving you is my active desire. And then the righteousness be my long attire. Jesus blood that me a clean. Holy gabi we are coming star.
Uri mu mutima wanjye sinza kwitesha agakiza wamaye kandutira byose ubuzima bwanjye bufite intego ni wowe nkesha kubaho kwanjye ni wowe byiringiro bizima Yesu. You need a blessing so that me can prosper. Me only daddy and me papa and me doctor. Water me get every time when me thirsty. Oh yes, you love me. Daily yes, you dey put food for me on the platter. And then your eyes watch over me. And then the heart full of praise and thanks that me offer. In your light inside, I feel alive inside. I cannot deny. Uri mu mutima wanjye sinza kwitesha agakiza wamaye kandutira byose ubuzima bwanjye bufite intego
righteousness, me my long attire. Jesus, blood, and daughter, me a please. Holy get me gabi, we are coming style.
Welcome back to the Creative Industry Talk. The discussion continues. My name is Eddie Okela, and in the studio is Faizo Chiwewa, who is the founder and the CEO of Bayimba Foundation and Bayimba Academy and many other things under Bayimba, doing what he does best. And of course in the studio is Ras Bisari, the legend himself, the man who has been there. He's got more experience in this thing